and today I'll be reviewing this brand new movie just dropped on Netflix called Mers. And this movie, it is based on a true story. And this movie, when I saw the trailer for this movie, I thought, oh, this movie looks, especially the story wise, it looks really very inspiring story about Syria war zone. And when I saw this movie, I'm like, whoa. I will say, like, as a movie, this movie, it was quite a watch for me personally. I was like, whoa, this movie does pack a lot of stuff, but overall, what was this movie was trying to tell us about these two sisters who wants to make it to Olympic in Rio in 2016 and their journey, how they went there. I would say this movie, oh, it is very uplifting, although this movie is, because I think it is based on a book, and whenever movies are based on a book, here we go, there is some part when you watch this movie, you're like, why didn't the director cut it out? Like, this movie does feel really long. Like, this movie feels really long. There's the first act, middle act, and the third act. And the first act, personally, I thought it was really dragged. Like, we didn't need it, all this story about these two sisters in Syria and trying to, enjoy their life or whatever. Then the war happened. They then need to escape the country. Or should I say, like, the way the story told, it is not always clear what is happening on the screen. The first act, however, the middle act is so heart-touching because you are watching all this refugee, they're trying to make it, and they are middle of the ocean, and they have this boat is about to sink, and these two sisters who swim across the, how much did they swim in this movie? Looked like a lot, like they swam a lot to survive, and all this refugee. And one of the refugee on this boat, she was with the baby, and how did she survive? That is a miracle. End of this movie. I was like, why she's going on a boat? With like little baby, it was really heart touching watching all these people trying to escape, and when they go to where they want to go, how difficult it is to start a life. I would say this movie really make you feel for all this refugee, because like you think about watching this kind of story, it is always heart touching. However, the last act I really liked a lot. They do introduce another actor. What is his name? Matthias. You have seen him. He's in many Germany movies. He's a Germany actor. I thought he was good in this movie, like nice addition. Although I was waiting for him to show up in this movie earlier. But I guess he's in the last act for this movie. Overall, this movie, it is very heartwarming and uplifting. But as I was saying, the run time for this movie, you do feel it. You are like, after watching it, you're like, you could have cut all this scene out of this movie. Like, you could have left it all this other scene. I guess the director, he felt really, connected with all the scene he shot, that he couldn't cut it out. Then again, maybe he felt obligated to show all this scene. Overall, didn't need it this much long. Was still very interesting story about these two sisters, because end of the day, this movie, it is about this Mardini sister, like their story and how they made it. Especially my favorite scene, or should I say the heart-touching scene, where once these people were on that boat, that scene was really, you are feeling for these people. They're like floating on the ocean, and anytime their boat can sink. And then it's really sad when you watch it. You're like, oh, these people are really, and it is really hard, especially whenever middle of the war. Then again, this movie, like these two sisters, beginning of, especially the older sister, Yashra, her name, or Sarah, like felt like she left her country to in this competition, although I didn't ever felt like she was like a huge danger or anything to go on this journey in the first place. That is, I will say, like the only criticism I have about this movie. Whenever you are making movie, unfortunately, you have to put some cheesy emotional scene, like they're in danger or something, that they need to leave the country. Like, they were in danger, like there was a war happening, but didn't felt like she needed to leave her father and mother. Then again, that's how her story is. But I just wish there was some altercation to feel for her, because she was just left the country to be in the competition. Like, then again, what is more important, pursuing your dream or to stay alive? That is what I think personally. I think staying alive is more important, because like then again, dream doesn't let you sleep at night. And that's my thought on this movie. Overall, still very uplifting, inspiring movie about this sister, which I really like how this sister story, but there is some scene they could cut it out. Overall, it's still very enjoyable movie. And that's my thought on this movie. Let me know in the comment what do you think about this movie. And if you enjoyed this review, don't share my other reviews on other Netflix movie. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. Until I see you next time, please take care.